Welcome to this Introduction to Turabian Referencing at Central Queensland University. We found this article and we think it's very relevant for our research. I want to use some of this article in my essay. I've just begun drafting my essay, so what I'll do is I'll call that up now. Here's my essay draft, and you can see I've written a sentence that refers to this article specifically. Now I need to put a reference in to indicate that this information comes from this article. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the References tab here. There's the Home tab. I choose References tab and I'm going to click on Insert Footnote. I click Insert Footnote and you can see that Word automatically puts in the footnote reference ready for me to start typing. And if I scroll back up here, I can see it's put in number 1 for me right there. So I'm all ready to start typing down here. What do I actually need to type? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Short Guide to Turabian and see exactly what information I need and what order I need it to be in. I want to find out how to reference a journal article. I already know that I need to put a footnote in. So I'm going to scroll down. Here I can see what to include in a footnote, and it tells me a footnote should include the author's name, the title of the source, the full publication details, and the exact page number of the evidence being cited. Now I'm going to just scroll down here, see if I can find anything. For journal articles, include the volume and or issue number of the journal and the date of publication. If you found the article online, include the URL of the article and the date you accessed it. This applies whether you found the article in a database, on the web, or through the CQ Uni Library Catalogue. So I know that I did find it through the CQ Uni Library Catalogue, so I need to include the URL of the article and the date that I accessed it. Now it tells me see footnotes 11, 15, and 16 below. So I'm going to scroll down, just have a look at the samples here. Here's 11. We have the author's name, first name, last name. So if I go back to my article now, I can see the author's names, Shirlene Robinson and Jessica Payton. I actually have 2 authors here. So now I'm going to go back to my Word document. I'm going to type in those authors' names, Shirlene Robinson and Jessica Payton, in my footnote. The next thing I need is the title of the article, which appears with maximal capitalization. You can see all these words are capitalized and in double quotation marks. Back to my article now, and I'm going to capture that title. Back to Turabian, to my sample footnote, and I can see that what comes next is the title of the journal, then a space, and then the volume number. This is then followed by the issue number in the form number dot space 1, and then finally by the year in brackets and a colon. After the colon is a number which represents the page number that you are referring to, the specific page number that you are citing. So let's go back to our article and see if we can find those things. So here we have the title of the actual journal, the Journal of Genocide Research. We have the volume number here, volume 10, the issue number in brackets after it, issue number 4, and here is the year, 2008. And finally, we need the page number that we are referring to. So the information that I'm referring to actually appears on the second page of this article. So if I scroll to the second page of the article and go down to the bottom, I can see that the page number for this page is 502. So that's the page number that will go into my footnote. Back to our essay, and we're going to add that information in to our footnote. Because we found this article online, there's more that we need to add. we also needed to add the web address for the article and the date that we accessed it. So let's go back to that article and copy and paste the web address straight from the web address bar. So I've copied that web address and then pasted it into my footnote. Now, Word has automatically turned that into a live link. I don't want it to be a live link. Now, the last thing we need to add is the date that we accessed it. So we use the term accessed, and then we give the date that we accessed the article, so that would be today's date, and it's in the form month, day, year. So accessed March 18, 2014, and that is the final element in our reference. Now, if I wanted to reference that article again, I don't need to put the full details in the second and the third and the fourth times. If I wanted to reference it straight away in the very next sentence, let's say that I type another sentence here that relates to their findings, and I want to reference this again. So once again, I'll go to References and I'll put Insert Footnote. You can see Word has automatically put in a number 2 for me in the text here and down here. Now, if I'm quoting the exact same source, all I need to put here is the word ibid, which means in the same place, the same as above. So if it's a different page number, I can actually add that different page number. So if we go back to the short guide to Turabian, see if we can find an example of ibid. Here is ibid with a full stop, and here is ibid with a new page number. So that means it's the same source as directly above, but the page number is different. We can see it's a full stop, then a comma, then a space, then the page number. So we'll just put that in. Now, if I had then referred to a second source, so I've added a sentence here, I've put in an extra footnote. This is a completely new footnote, footnote number 3, and it's referring to the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. But now I'm going to type another sentence, and I'm going to refer back to that original source once more. And what I do here is I hit Insert Footnote, but I don't need to give the full details of Robinson and Patton again because I've already given them above. I can't use ibid, however, because there's now a reference in between this reference and the earlier reference. So ibid would refer to the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade instead of to Robinson and Patton. So let's have a look at what they've done in the Turabian guide. Now what we can see if we look down to footnote 13, it's the same as footnote 11. We've got the same author, Wesley, but only the last name is given. We've got the first word of the title, Perspectives on Australian Foreign Policy becomes just Perspectives, and we've got the page number. So that's what we're going to do in our essay. So we just need the author's last names, Robinson and Patton, the first word or the first words to make sense of that title, the question of genocide, and page number is 503. And that's all we need to put for the next reference. And from now on, if we were to refer to that again, all we would need to do is the same thing. Author's names, short title, and the page number. So we now have a draft of our essay that includes a number of footnotes. Note that each footnote goes after the full stop rather than before. And our complete source details given below. The Turabian guide also shows you how to reference a whole range of sources, including books, chapters in edited books, electronic books, newspaper articles, government sources, study guides, and electronic study material. You'll notice that this section of the guide contains both information on how to set out a reference in your footnote and information on how to set it out in a bibliography.